What's up, guys? This is Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our NCL Season 2 Week 1 Team Builder. Getting right into the swing of things here for Season 2 of the NCL. This week we are taking on Matt and his Green Bay Golisopods. Once again, actually, it happens that in Season 1, or last season, we ended up playing Matt and his Green Bay Golisopods in Season 1. First week of Season 1, sorry. And he defeated us 3-0 last season. So let's run through his team. Granted, I am filming this quite ahead of schedule, but I have quite a busy week for the actual week of battles, so I'm trying to get this out of the way as much as I can. Matt's team may change, my team may change. I doubt that mine will change before that, but technically we're in week 0, so any free agent transactions that go through are eligible for week 1. Now, Matt's team is Latios, Volcarona, Donphan, Decidueye, Eelektross, Girder, Mega Sharpedo, Skarmory, Florges, Weezing, and Regice. Very scary team. I actually think it's a little bit easier to prep for this time than it was last time, but it is still a very scary team, very Matt-esque team. Looks very balanced with a lot of good threats and a lot of good walls. He has priority in Donphan with Ice Shard, Decidueye with Shadow Sneak and Sucker Punch, Girder with Mach Punch, and Mega Sharpedo with Aqua Jet. He has Hazard Setting in Donphan with Stealth Rock, Skarmory with Stealth Rock and Spikes, and Weezing with Toxic Spikes. He has removal options in Latios with Defog, Volcarona with Defog, Donphan with Rapid Spin, Decidueye with Defog, Skarmory with Defog, and Florges with Defog. You'll notice that's a lot of Defog, and we'll sort of talk about that in a bit. And he has one 4x weakness, and that's Volcarona to Rock. The only mon that I'm not expecting to show up is Decidueye, just because of how well my team pressures grass types. I don't think that Decidueye would show up. I have 2 ice types, a fire type, and a bug flying that all kind of just destroy another grass type, as well as potentially Superior being there and destroying things, and Mew can run a variety of coverage, same with Como. So Decidueye is the only one I'm not expecting. Any one of the other 10 to form his 6 I could see coming. There's a few that I think are a little less likely. I think Eelektross is a little less likely, and I think Weezing is a little less likely. Regice, I think, will come because he can get his own Veil up for his own Volcarona. Volcarona is an absolute monster against my team, and I think that that's coming. Latios is a good bring against my team. Mega Sharpedo is a good bring against my team. Florges and Skarmory are also good brings against my team. So if I had to predict the 6, I would predict those. However, my team does have quite a big weakness to fighting, so I think that Girder might show up at some point as well. That's a potential there for Girder as well. So, first on our list is Dyrus, the Rotom-Heat. We are bringing a specially defensive Rotom-Heat to be able to take hits from the Volcarona and the Latios a little bit better, as well as get some momentum off. I've got Overheat on here to be able to hit the Skarmory with. Volt Switch for the Skarmory as well. This is primarily my Skarmory check. I don't really have reliable recovery, but he doesn't have a lot of knockoff users. I think Eelektross, Girder, Donphan. Oh, excuse me, I think those are the 3. I've got Toxic on here for the Florges if that's what he wants to bring in on my Rotom. And I've got Defog on here because he could potentially be bringing Toxic Spikes against me. And the team that I'm bringing is relatively weak to Rocks as well, so I want to get Rocks off the field in case he's going to get up Rocks. Again, especially defensive, I'm running a tiny bit of speed, just 1 point in speed, just so that I will guaranteed outspeed the Skarmory if he's trying to speed creep me for some reason. And I've got 1 point in special attack, just for an odd value of HP to make it a little bit easier on myself switching in on Rocks. Next up, we've got Snowcone or Mew. We're bringing a nifty Mew set this week. We're bringing a Guave Berry set with Stealth Rock, Psychic, and Flamethrower and U-Turn. Psychic and Flamethrower cover the majority of his team, bar Mega Sharpedo and Latios for the most part. Excuse me, both of which can take Psychic and Flamethrower not very effectively. Not very effectively or immune, which is what I have U-Turn for. Both of them get hit by U-Turn super effectively. And I've got the Guave Berry on there because I want to maybe get in on Latios and a Guave Berry up or something like that, or switch in on Skarmory and get a Guave Berry. I don't know, switch in on Florges and get a Guave Berry. Like, I just want the extra HP at a certain point, and I didn't want to have to run recovery because I needed all the slots. Mew is the rocker this week. Rocks are pretty important against his team, especially for the Volcarona, and I want to have to pressure the Donphan to spin or him to defog with something else to be able to get a free setup turn potentially. Running 152 speed Modest, this lets us outrun the Florges. He's got relatively poor speed speed tiering on his team, so he has nothing between Florges and Volcarona, and I don't want to speed tie with Volcarona, so I'm outspeeding the next best thing. 252 special attack Modest, this lets us almost 100% of the time Oko Wheezing with Psychic. With Modest, actually we will Oko max HP Wheezing every single time with Psychic, and I pop the rest into HP to tank hits a little bit better. Next up is Thanos, our Mega Pinsir. We're running no happiness with the Moxie ability. Hopefully that can do something for us. Hyper Cutter wasn't doing anything because he doesn't have any Intimidate Mons. And, sorry, what's the other one? Swarm? Oh, Mold Breaker. Mold Breaker's not doing anything for us when we're in regular form. Not necessarily, at least we could be running like Earthquake in regular form and hit the Electros with it or something like that, but I don't think that that's necessarily the smartest idea when I could Mega. Oh god, excuse me. We're running Frustration, Substitute, Swords Dance, and Quick Attack, so dual Flying Stab along with Sub ST. I'm hoping to pressure something out with the threat of a Flying Attack against something like Decidueye maybe, or against Girder maybe, and get a sub up into an SD, and then Frustration can just sort of demolish things. I'm expecting Skarmory to have Brave Bird and Skarmory to be his Mega Pinsir wall. That would make the most sense to me. Otherwise, Donphan potentially with Ice Shard. I definitely need Skarmory weakened for this to win the game, but outside of that, this set kind of tears through a lot of his team. At +2 Quick Attack is destroying so many things, and I'll have higher priority than something like Decidueye if he wants to Sucker Punch me or anything like that. That's a potential there. We're running max speed Jolly, which lets us speed tie with Mega Sharpedo if he has not gotten a speed boost up. And we're running max attack with 4 in defense. That's kind of just basic for the Mega Pinsir set. Again, priority is getting rocks off of my side of the field. He's got a few rock setters, 2 rock setters, is it? Donphan and Skarm that can set up rocks, and those will hinder my Mega Pinsir just as much as they will hinder his Volcarona. Although I do perceive Volcarona to be the bigger threat because I have less of a wall for that, and he has more of a wall for this. So now we get into sort of the Hail Core and my key strategy this game. We're bringing Sophie, the Alolan Ninetales, with the Icy Rock. Bring Aurora Veil, Moonblast, Blizzard, and Toxic. I'll sort of touch on this a little bit when we go over Melodic, but we're bringing Veil. For a few of my setup mons, I have Pinsir as a setup mon, and you'll see shortly that I have Sandslash as a setup mon as well. Moonblast is there to hit things like the Latios. Obviously we won't be able to speed it, but there you go, it's for the Mega Shark and the Girder. Excuse me, Mega Shark and the Girder as well. Blizzard hits a ton of his team really well. Blizzard is my highest base power attack. It's going to blow back the Decidueye, blow back the Donphan. It's going to hit the Regice okay, but Moonblast will hit that better. It's going to hit the Latios really well. It's going to hit the Skarmory reasonably well. It's going to hit the Wheezing really well, Electros really well, all those. Blizzard's basically just the strongest attack I have. And with Icy Rock, I get a ton of turns of Hail to just spam it if I want. Toxic is there for the Florges, which I would imagine is his switch in for this, or the Volcarona, which I would also imagine is his switch in for this. I'm not sure how many times he's run Lumberry Volcarona, but it seems to be less common these days. I think with the no Z-move restriction, I think that he might choose to run a Z-move on Volcarona. That kind of makes a lot of sense against my team. So Toxic could be really helpful there. We are running 224 speed Timid. We cannot outrun Latios, which is the fastest thing on his team, so we are choosing to outrun the Mega Sharpedo with no speed boost up. And I've got the rest in special attack and a tiny bit in HP. I don't think it's really going to matter. It might matter if I have the Veil up, though, which is kind of where it comes into effect. So next up we have Reynolds, our Alolan Sandslash. We're bringing Icy MZ with the Slush Rush ability, Icicle Crash, Rock Slide, Iron Head, and Swords Dance. Z Icicle Crash can destroy quite a few things. It's mainly there for the Skarmory, but it can also blow back things like the Donphan. Excuse me, things like the Electros, things like the Girder. Wow, I hate yawning on these, but it always seems to happen. We have Rock Slide for the Volcarona, which I'll touch on in 1 second. And I've got Iron Head there for the Regice and the Florges. That's going to be my best way to deal with both of those, I think. Yeah, that's what Iron Head's there for. And then SD is to set up because I kind of need to be +2 to do a ton of damage. Like, if we can whittle his team down enough, then I can clean without getting an SD up, but I may need the SD if all goes to plan. If all doesn't go to plan, sorry. We're running 236 speed Jolly. So in the hail, we are outspeeding a Volcarona that is Quiver Danced 1 time. If he's Charty Berry, good play, my friend, good play. I don't have a rock type, so I don't think that he's going to be Charty Berry, just expecting a rock slide. I'm not sure how much sense that makes in my eyes. I'm obviously not going to click rock slide with Mega Pinsir because, like, frustration is going to blow back the Volcarona anyways, so he would only be taking it for a Alolan Sandslash or the Kommo-o, or like HP Rock from Superior or something like that, I don't know. Goodness, I'm so sorry. We're running max attack, 16 speed, and 4 in special defense with Jolly Nature, obviously. So Alolan Sandslash is kind of our late game cleaner. I'm hoping ICMZ puts in work. It seems to be the best option here. Otherwise, Steelium Z is a thing that'll hit a lot of stuff neutrally, but ICMZ is just going to hit a lot more. Last but not least, we're bringing Turner, our Melodic. Leftovers with the competitive ability with Surf, Ice Beam, Toxic, and Recover. Surf and Ice Beam are just good coverage moves. Whatever resists Surf doesn't resist Ice Beam, except for Mega Sharpedo, but hopefully that won't matter because Mega Sharpedo is really frail, and the plan is to be at +2. Toxic is there for the Florges because it can still tank hits at +2, and Recover is there for just some basic recovery. We're running 208 speed with Timid Nature, which lets us outspeed Florges, and we're running max special attack, the rest in HP. So the thing is with Ninetale is once I set up Aurora Veil, he has so many defoggers that I really think I really think that he's going to bring defog. I think that makes a lot of sense to be able to get rid of my hazards and my Aurora Veil because it's such a huge threat to him. And so I can switch in Melodic on the defog, get my competitive boost, be at +2 special attack, and outspeed everything not named Volcarona, Latios, Mega Sharpedo, or any Scarfer. So that's kind of the game plan. Hopefully it works out. I'm scared to play Matt, I always am, but you know, we gotta start somewhere during the season, right? Yeah, so anyways, I will catch you guys for the battle.